What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Zatima. This is season 2, episode 14, and the episode is titled Redemption. So let's get right into the review. So we start off with Angela calling Fatima. She basically wants to update her on the fact that Zach is no longer at her house, and, she just wants to check in, make sure Fatima's good. Fatima says that she's good. She's at dinner with Paul right now. And they still plan on going to the club a little bit later. All right, cool. Now, for some reason, Angela, she got the bright idea to call Bryce. I'm just like, girl, you don't even like this man. Why are we wasting a phone call? How about you call the new guy, Sam? How about you do that instead of calling Bryce? I don't understand. Nonetheless, she decides to call him and invite him to the open mic night. And according to him, he's like, well, I could just come to your house because, I was just getting to my house, but I can come to your house. I'm like, Bryce, you are annoying. So they decide that he's going to come to Angela's house. Fine. Now let's slide on over to Fatima and Paul, because she's pointing out that all these women are staring at him. And according to him, the women in Atlanta, they're looking for sugar daddies. So basically, he ain't checking for these women. Now, Fatima's rebuttal is that, there are some hardworking women in Atlanta as well. So you can't just say that everybody wants a sugar daddy. So he says that, he has a few stories that he can tell. And she's like, okay, well, I want to hear them. Y'all, he's literally talking about your body and mind are here, but your eyes aren't. When I tell y'all, I rolled my eyes. I don't know. Something about Paul is really off to me now. The more that I see him on screen and him have conversations with Fatima, it's like Paul ain't really giving what I'm thinking he's supposed to be giving. But nonetheless, he ends up telling her, that she was sad or whatever. And I'm like, you think? She just broke up with her fiance. Of course this woman is sad. However, you knew what this was when y'all decided to go out together. So you're just a filler, okay? So that way she can get over those emotions for her ex. So they decide that they're going to head out, right? So they can go to the open mic night. Now, he decides to give this speech about how Fatima is so beautiful, and even though she's not quite sure about them, she gives him a chance to show the type of man he can be for her. Y'all, at this point, Paul is wearing me thin. I'm getting kind of bored with him. I feel like the reason why I'm annoyed with Paul's character, it's because a lot of what Paul is, there are elements of Aaron in it, if that makes sense. The same way Aaron was created to always have the answers for Karen. He always made it seem like they were the perfect match versus Zach. I feel like we're getting the same thing with Paul versus Zach, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of bored with that. But nonetheless, let's get to Angela and Bryce. So basically, she told this man that he should try to talk to Zach because she told Zach to be nice to him. Angela, you sound crazy right now. You want this man to basically force a relationship or a friendship with a man who don't like him, but he's going to try to tolerate him for you because you asked? That sounds crazy. So then she goes on to say that she's going to try to be nicer to him as well. Girl, you invited this man over to your home just so you can tell him that? You could have did this over the phone. But wait a minute, she's not even done, y'all. She then goes on to say, well, Zach is in therapy. Why are you telling Zach's business that he's in therapy? Also, why are we acting like Zach has been going to therapy and has done 10 sessions? Baby, he only did 1, okay? Nonetheless, she decides to tell Bryce, oh, maybe you should try therapy. Ma'am, you're completely out of line at this point. Because you're still judging him and you're hung up on the fact that his sexuality offends you and only you at this point. And then she goes on to reiterate how they can't date. Girl, we know. So he questions, if she's ever done anything freaky. And she's like, yeah, I've had a threesome before. But basically, it was all about the man. So her and the woman, they did nothing together. And I'm like, okay, so you were boring. No fun, Angela. Sounds about right. Nonetheless, she basically disinvited him to come to the open mic night, talking about some it's too soon. Sis, just admit that you were bored, so you felt bad for Bryce. It was like, he could possibly go out with me, and you just wanted to waste his time. Like, let's be honest. You wanted to waste that man's time. Like, I'm giving a major side eye to Angela. Like, what was this entire scene for? The things that you said could have been said over the phone. You dissed him, and you, disinvited him. Ma'am, what did he waste his gas for? Nonetheless, we're going to move on. We see Zach. He goes back to these dirty-ass projects. And who does he go talk to? Connie. Again, Connie, what is going on here? Because do you have a job? Do you have anything going on for yourself? And also, Zachary, why are you here? So he basically told her that he came back there so he could look at her. Then he tells her that they can take a ride or whatever. Now she goes on to throw herself at him like she always does. And then she's like, I'm going to go change my clothes. Y'all, you know what I really need to happen right now? I need for Zachary to stop driving his fancy car down to the projects as if he's a drug dealer or something. Like, it's just not making sense. So, we're going to move on. Paul and Fatima. They talk about, the last time they were at open mic night and how she has this beautiful voice. She tells him how she's happy with what she's doing now. That's why she didn't try to, continue pursuing music. And then out of nowhere, who decides to walk up, y'all? Belinda. You already know Fatima is not happy to see her. Like, Fatima even told her that she's not going to sing again. And you know that she felt some type of way because Belinda basically blindsided her and put her on the spot to make her sing last time that she was there. So I get why she had to tell Belinda that ain't about to happen right now. So here goes Belinda. She trying to get to know who Paul is, okay? So Fatima Loki had to check her a little bit because Belinda don't need to know who Paul is. Belinda needs to go mind her own business, okay? So Belinda, she goes on to say her whole speech about why her and Fatima are not cool. And what's crazy to me in that whole little situation is how she casually says, oh, I tried to push up on her man, but that's my girl. You try to push up on your best friend's man, but that's your homegirl? You sound crazy. Belinda is a complete nutcase. But let's go ahead and move on. Y'all, come to find out, Zach is at the club. And he ends up spotting Paul and Fatima. He walks over there to the table. He takes a seat. Now here comes Zach with 21 questions. And I am so over this scene. You have Paul chiming in when he can. And honestly, I'm just completely annoyed with the fact that Fatima and Zach technically broke up a day ago. It has been like one day since they broke up. Can a week go by? Like, can he actually miss her before he start doing all these baby shoulda, woulda, couldas? Come on now. So he's over here talking about how he can't hold you like I can because his body ain't custom fit like mine. Nigga, bye. Like, the fact that he's questioning what they talk about and all of this stuff, I'm like, Fatima, you giving him too much. Because when I tell you, me and Paul, I would be like, Paul, let's go. I'm not having this conversation with you. So Fatima, she ends up telling him how, her and Paul, they talk about politics and philosophy. And here goes Zach. Man, that's whack. You need that street. You need that gutter. You need that hood. I said, Tyler, I know you didn't write that line. Or if Zach freestyled it, either way, the line was trash. Why would she need something that is street, hood, and gutter? Especially considering she's trying to elevate her life. Sir, That line would have worked on your other girl, though. Where Connie at? Because that right there, that's all that Connie wants. Like, Connie wants that street, hood, gutter Zach. That is not what Fatima wants. So now I'm wondering, Zach, are you getting these two women confused? Because only Connie wants that. So here we go again. Zach, he goes on talking about how he wants to do all these things to Fatima in the bedroom. Sir, you ain't Ludacris, and this ain't what's your fantasy. We don't have time for any of this, okay? Like, just to think, he said all of this stuff to Fatima while he was sober. I said, at least he could have been drunk. At least Zach could have been drunk doing all this yapping. But no, he's sober. So I can't even excuse this behavior right now. So Zach, he says he's leaving. However, he's going to leave the door unlocked for Fatima. Nigga, she got a key. What you leaving the door unlocked for? Like, make it make sense. And Tyler, you ain't slick. Because then, if we go back to sisters, you had Karen feed him that same line. You are not slick, Tyler. Don't be getting so lazy with the writing. So, what annoys me in this whole thing is that he is treating Fatima like she's like property or something. And I'm just like, you don't own her. Relax. So, he finally ends up leaving. And Fatima, she just wants to continue the date with Paul. Now, we go over to Zach and his lame friends. Nate, he is back to his old ways, being super disrespectful to Fatima, calls her the B word, and Zach, he checks him about it. But here's the problem that I have with Zach. You have yet to apologize for using that same word towards Fatima as well as her best friend. And you called them all types of B's to their face. Like, Nate is doing it behind her back. You were doing it straight to your fiance's face. And that is one thing about Zach's character that I cannot stand, baby. He does not really apologize for the things that he does. I think we've only seen, one apology out of him this entire time. That's a problem. Maybe two. So I'm giving Zach a side eye for that. It's like, yeah, it's cool that you checked your boy, but you need to go check yourself. And here we go with Nate. Nate is basically mad at the fact that Fatima is the one who told his wife what he was doing with old girl next door, who lives next door to Zach, Deja. And I'm like, yep, that's definitely why. I think Zach was the one who told him that. That's definitely why Nate, feels some type of way about Fatima. That's like the added layer. But he had issue with Fatima before that. When Zach was telling his friends about him being with Fatima, he took issue with her. So he's always had this vendetta against her, even when he didn't even know Fatima. But nonetheless, next thing you know, Zach ends up calling Belinda over and questions Belinda as well as Nate if they're the ones who created that fake profile. So they both deny it, but all the men think that Belinda, she's the one who's lying. Y'all, if Belinda is the one who created a fake dating profile for Fatima, that's psychotic. Like, I can't even imagine someone being friends with someone and they've been friends for years, and because you're upset that they're dating with the man that you only slept with one time randomly, you decide to create a fake dating profile so that way they can break up. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know where Tyler is going with this writing. So Angela, she ends up popping up, and Zach tells her that Belinda is the one who created the fake page. Now, at first, Angela doesn't seem to believe that, Belinda would do that, because that sounds absolutely crazy. However, when she questions Belinda later, like, hey, did you, do this profile on Fatima? Of course, Belinda, she's going to deny it. So she don't really know what to feel. She don't know if the girl did it or not. Like I said, if Belinda did do it, she needs to go be in like a psych ward because that's absolutely crazy. But let's go ahead and move on, y'all. So we see Paul and Fatima, and they talk about, this little stunt that Zach just pulled. Now, Paul thinks that the whole thing was cheesy, but Fatima, she says that, she ain't really thinking about Zach right now. She's thinking about herself and how she wants to leave this place with Paul, right? Now, y'all, before they can head out, Zach decides to hop his ass on the microphone and confess all his sins. Sir, get off the mic. He over here talking about how he went back to his ex, but he couldn't smash because he loves his new girl so much. Then, out of nowhere, y'all, why did Connie start speaking her mind while still thirsting after Zach? And I'm just like, this is just too much. But also, the audacity of Zach to try to cop an attitude with Connie because he wanted her to shut up. He didn't want Connie to go on talking about how much she liked the D from him and all this stuff. But Negro, you the one who picked her up out the hood. You waited for her to change her clothes into a whole nother outfit so that way y'all can ride off into the night and go to this open mic night. Sir, you brought all of this on yourself. I'm sorry, I just don't feel bad for Zach in this moment because why is Connie here? You sat up here and professed your love for Fatima. However, the woman that you almost slept with, you brought her here. Do you see how crazy that looks, Zach? Fatima, leave this man alone. Completely leave Zach alone. Like, y'all, I'm sorry. The antics, they gotta stop. Fatima definitely deserves better at this point. So, Belinda, she is sick of him talking. So she basically tell him, listen, sing a song or get off the stage. Now, I completely agree with that. Now, out of nowhere, y'all, he decides he gonna sing. He decides to sing Babyface. Nobody knows it but me. Y'all, Zach can't sing. Like, he can't sing at all. And then what made it worse is that this man is up here crying all through the song. Like Chris Brown, when he did that Michael Jackson tribute. I'm like, if y'all don't come get Zachary, I can't take this. So when he was done, though, jokes on him because Fatima and Paul, they had already left. They had already skedaddled. And where are they, y'all? They are making out on Angela's couch. But here's the thing. We can see that, she wasn't really into it. So the next thing that we see, y'all, is Zach. He's laying in bed. And Fatima, she basically came to see Zach. And baby, we got a scene, okay? They were in there doing their thing. I mean, leg over the shoulder and all of that, okay? Now, I do love me a good scene between Zach and Fatima. However, no ma'am. Leave Zach alone. Move on. Focus on yourself because the antics and games that he's playing, I don't have time for. And you shouldn't either. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. What do y'all think about Zach and his antics? Because I'm sorry, why was Connie there? Okay? And also, what y'all think about Angela playing with Bryce's feelings? Yeah, go ahead, drop all that in the comments. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, y'all. And I will talk to you in my next review. Bye, guys.